Hello. Hello. Happy Mother's Day. So maybe you're watching this in a couple of days. Right now, no one's jumped over. There's the first person. Hello. Happy Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day 2020, and the most peculiar Mother's Day in my lifetime. Others of you have lived through even stranger days, I think. And the main thing is that we're just how happy that you're here and pleased to celebrate today with you. As you just heard, we're contemplating the act and idea of motherhood, the posture of motherhood, as it relates to how all of us are in the world and on the planet. It's good to see you all checking in. Hello, everyone. We are in a unique moment here. And I really, I don't know if you guys have seen or been out recently, but I've been out a couple of days, and so have a lot of other people, more so recently than in the past month or so, right? I mean, there was actually traffic on 3rd Street here in North Shore a few days ago. Traffic getting on to the Second Narrows Bridge. And that's the first time that that's happened for a while. So I feel like both organically and perhaps with word from our government, we're beginning to come out of our homes a little bit more. And I don't have anything to say necessarily about the science of that. I'm just got my ears open, and I'll continue to be cautious. But my fear about it, beyond the immediate medical precautions that we should be taking, is that will we return to normal as though nothing has happened and ignore this invitation and ignore the opportunity to engage in deep thought from a position of mothering nurture. And I have some fear and doubts about whether that will occur. And I don't know what we can do to assist and ensure, or not ensure, but influence the trajectory of our civilization to not rush back to the way things were. And I don't even know what that means. What does that mean in my personal interaction? Because look, personally, I feel like I'm just going to keep doing the same things. And that's because what I do solitarily doesn't have a tremendous impact, right? But at the same time, if we all rush back to doing the same things that we were doing as individuals, we'll be right back where we started from. So where do these conversations need to take place? Where do the pause button need to be held down a little longer, even after, if we all got the okay, if everything checked out and we were all had antibodies, it still seems to me that we would want to take this opportunity to just hold for a little bit longer and allow some other forms to emerge. We hear reports of other countries. New Zealand is the one that comes to mind. It's really taking this opportunity to radically reconfigure how they think about economics and their land. So that's inspiring. And I don't know the details of it necessarily. I'm certainly no expert, but it's a trajectory that we can listen to and try to bring home here. And I don't see a lot of hope right now for the healing of our political divide. It just seems to have morphed into another venue, that being the debate about whether lockdown is appropriate or not. And so that has been somewhat disappointing. Not that I want everyone to think the same, right? Everyone, I'm glad for the conspiracy theorists in a sense, but I want us to apply the same sense of doubt and critical thought to them that they are applying to the dominant narrative. And so anyway, I don't want us to all think alike necessarily, but it would be nice if we could shift and set a trajectory as a society. And I'm hoping that this moment allows us to do that, to bring in these characteristics of motherhood. So I'm happy to answer any questions anybody had or anything that they'd want to explore further here for another couple of minutes before you go grab a cup of coffee with Marcia in the Zoom room. Mother's Day is always an interesting holiday for us ministers, because we seem to be invited to think of motherhood in this sort of monolithic term, and I found myself and like, cotton candy the whole thing, and that's just not how it works. And there's all kinds of ways to do motherhood, and ways that we fail at doing motherhood, and ways that we exceed beyond our dreams, right? So it's complicated, right? It's complicated. It's difficult to capture in a 20-minute sermon. So Liz is asking, I wonder what drives us human beings to keep returning to do some of the acts that we vow to never repeat. Well, I think, yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's maybe fear. And where does that fear come from? I mean, some of it's come by quite honestly. And some of it is generated from the way that we perceive the world. I've been convinced that this paradigm and story of separation that we have been beholden to for, in some ways, for millennia, but certainly since the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment. Not that we're casting out the baby with the bathwater here, but it's reinforced the idea that we are atomized and separate beings, and that gives rise to fear, which I think gives rise to othering and war, or these habits that we have. And also probably there's something about scale here in a way, that just the fact that we know of each other but don't know each other, it's so ripe for that, so much ground in that space for fear to take root in. The internet has both ameliorated and exacerbated that state of affairs. But I really do think that this sense of separation, which leads us to sort of conceive of life in a zero-sum game, has led to a lot of damage. Sarah remarks that the How quote reminded her of Baroness von Sketch skit. I don't even know who the Baroness von Sketch is, but I will look at that YouTube later for a laugh. I've also promised, like a distant cousin of mine, that I would watch a video on the conspiracy that Bill Gates is behind this whole thing. So I've got a couple of videos that I've promised to watch, and they both seem to be good for a laugh. So that's going to be good. Anyway, we're close to getting time to say farewell. A vote from Ross for Baroness von Sketch. All right. Well, I will tune into that later today. That'll be a good way to spend some Mother's Day. We're gonna watch Singing in the Rain, I think, today, or Grease as a family. That's our Mother's Day celebration. And I made some scones, and they were good, I think. Yeah, othering is. I had a colleague once that gave a sermon on the one commandment: "Thou shalt not other." Easier said than done, of course, right? Well, it's a good project and a good experiment to run, and I wish you the best of Mother's Day. I mean, how about Mother, don't other? It's a good bumper sticker. Mother, don't other. All right. I leave it to you all. I hope you guys enjoy your scones and musicals or mimosas or beautiful sunshine or whatever you plan to do today. I'm sorry that we can't all gather with all of our mothers today. That makes it difficult. I spoke to my mom down in Arizona today, and she's doing fine. But I miss her. And if you're separated from your kids or your mom today, that's hard. And let's hope that we could spend next Mother's Day with them all. And if they're not able to do that, certainly we keep them in our heart. And that's it. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. I'll talk to some of you on Tuesday. Please tune in to stop by something. I don't know what's the right metaphor. Participate in the integration circle. That's always a really beautiful and rich conversation. We're also doing the midweek ministry thing, at least for a little bit longer. And let me know what you all think about that. And right after this, we're going to have, you can pop over to the Zoom room. Marsha's hosting today, so grab yourself. You got 10 minutes to grab a cup of coffee, get freshened up, and come back and see each other, at least in one dimension. But it's really nice to hear each other's voices and see each other's faces. So enjoy yourself. Enjoy your Mother's Day, and bless you all. Bye-bye.